Hey everyone, Dr. Rex Hamilton here, and I am so pleased to have Elena with us today. Elena had the LASIK procedure done, I think it's been over a year now. Why don't we start with how you made the decision that it was time to do something about your vision?
So it's interesting for me, it was a really easy answer. My brother had come to you about a year prior and gotten his LASIK surgery from you.
Awesome.
And so I think having that kind of family testimonial was just incredibly, reassuring. He had a really great, easy experience, especially after recovery. And best of all, his quality of life just increased a ton. And so for me, it was like really a no-brainer.
And also, I was just looking again at your chart, and you had a lot of what we call astigmatism, which means that the shape of the front of the eye is not round, it has a little bit of a football shape. And of course, we fixed that with the LASIK. Just a couple of things I want to just make sure people know about LASIK. The first patent was issued in 1989, if you can believe it. It took 10 years of FDA trials for the procedure to be approved in 1999. And there's been over 20 million LASIK procedures performed throughout the world. It's probably one of the safest procedures that we can do. Why don't we go through, kind of give us your thoughts about the day itself, if you can remember back. Sure. How that kind of went. And
so it was about a year ago, but it was fairly quick from what I remember. It was you come into the room, I laid down on the table, and there were sort of two different lasers and machines that you kind of go back and forth. I blinked a few times, and I think the whole thing was over in like 30 minutes or less. And I got up, my eyes felt a little bit, grainy, but I just walked out of here like it was not an issue.
Yeah, the procedure actually takes about 15 minutes. We use a little eyelid opener so you don't have to worry about blinking. Plenty of numbing drops so you don't feel like you have to blink. And you're looking at a green light, which aligns the procedure, and it's pretty straightforward. Let's talk a little bit about the recovery process. Mm-hmm. We typically give you a Tylenol PM at the end. That plus the Xanax usually puts people out for about 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah, I remember just going home and I took the Tylenol and the pills. So I was just really relaxed. I think I fell asleep right away really for 3-4 hours. I was wearing the plastic kind of goggles, if you will, so right. I wouldn't like rub my eyes accidentally. And I woke up and I was able to see right away. I mean, again, it felt a little bit grainy, I think, yes, for maybe a day or two after, but smooth recovery otherwise. I was just doing everything that I would do normally. Go for a walk, eat dinner, all that kind of thing.
So the next day you back to pretty much normal?
Back to pretty much normal, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of times we see on the internet talk about dry eye and LASIK, and that people are concerned, oh, am I gonna have dry eye for the rest of my life? We always have dryness after LASIK, just so we're clear. I tell patients about 6 to 12 months of dryness, usually just using some drops handles it. If that doesn't handle it, we have some medications and other things we can do to improve the tear film. But I was curious about your experience with the dryness.
So actually, that was one of the things that was concerning at first. I know you had told me prior to the surgery you're going to experience some dryness, but I remember, I think it was in my 1 month, 3 month, and up to even my 6 months checkup, I would come in and say, my eyes are still feeling dry, what should I do? And you said, that's perfectly normal. Here's some drops that you can do, and just like maybe put like a heating pad right after, some cooling. Yes. And then I think really miraculously by like month 12, like after the year checkup, it was gone.
Right, I would call it a nuisance problem, right, that everyone has to deal with. There's a sort of a regeneration process of some nerves that sense dryness, and that takes 6 to 12 months. Everybody's a little bit different. Tell us the effect it's had on your life, and kind of what you think it's kind of the value of this procedure is for you.
Right, and so the reason why it actually took me this long into my life to actually get it done is because my eyesight was not really horrible to begin with, and I feel like I was always in this mid-cusp where it's not quite bad enough that it's gonna not allow me to do certain things, but it definitely was annoying to have to say wear glasses when driving, looking at my computer, going to the movie theater. So said, let's do it. And since doing it, life has just become a lot easier. I don't have to worry about glasses, contacts, or I like to do sports, surf. So just like things didn't bother me anymore.
Right, and I remember looking at your correction, and you're one of those folks who like lives in a blurry world, because it wasn't bad enough to wear your glasses.
Exactly.
It's mostly astigmatism. Contact lenses don't really work that well for that. So you were walking around basically in a blurry world.
Right.
And now we've fixed that.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. Yeah, a lot of folks are in that situation.
Honestly, is not to sound crude, but really money well spent.
Right.
You know, if I could have spent that money in anything else, I wouldn't. I would choose to do this. It's really hard to like quantify like how much more or better my life has gotten, but the fact that I don't spend my time and energy
Right.
living in this blurry world.
Because I know you're busy. You do marketing, you're on the phone with other
Right,
continents,
and
you know.
just I'm on the computer a lot, and so that's always kind of caused me a lot of bit of headaches and gotten some migraines. But ever since getting it, it's just everything is flowing, so I don't have to worry about like changing from work environment to exercising to doing this, and it's all seamless, and I think that's the value.
The fear of sort of a procedure on the eye is what keeps the vast majority of folks on the sidelines.
I was actually one of them. I had known that LASIK had been around for a long time, decades, and I knew somewhere in the back of my head that I know that the technology is advanced enough and sort of proven enough that it should be okay. But again, like you said, because it's something going into your eye, which is like one of your biggest prized possessions, I was scared. But again, I think it's just hearing directly from my brother, coworkers, friends, and family, and being reassured that it is a very low-risk procedure, and especially that the recovery time is so short. I just had to give it a try.
We keep a huge database of sort of all of the results, and I had you come in at 1 year. It was kind of more for me because I like to see where you're ending up, and I put it in the database. So we have like 99% of patients getting 20/20 or better. We have 60+% of patients getting 20/15 or better, which is where you are. It has to be one of the most predictable procedures that is done in any part of the body. And so, the safety factor is really pretty amazing. Thank you so much for coming in.
Of course.
And hopefully we can see you, on the website. You can make an appointment through there or just give us a call. And we hope to see you soon at the Hamilton Eye Institute.